The Traditionalist Workers' Party had a rally today, which resulted in 10 people being injured and seven rather, currently being hospitalized as a result of a clash that broke out between the Traditionalist Workers' Party, which is a white supremacist group, and counter-protesters who responded to them accordingly in a way that was admittedly violent, but at the same time questionable in whether or not one could condemn it. And it's so amazing to me how, we talk about the progress America's made. And, I've been one who's always stated that racism is still around, it still exists, and it still is prominent. And it's something that I don't think we'll ever get rid of. We can try to control it or just make it a little bit less worse. Yeah, that's even a proper phrase, a little bit less worse. Um, I actually apologize for that phrase I just used. But the bottom line is it's not going anywhere. And a lot of people would doubt that and say that things are all right, or they'll call something that isn't racist, such as a white officer responding to a black, I don't know, gunman accordingly with, arresting him. Just those are the types of examples that people want to actually call racist. But this was something that was racist by this supremacist group, and they made no attempt toward hiding it. Now, they'd probably kind of dance around saying it, but that's exactly what it was. Now, I don't believe the counter-protesters were necessarily in the right to assault these people, even though I don't agree with them referring to the Traditionalist Workers' Party whatsoever in any regard, knowingly anyway. So, you know, I'm bringing that up just as an example of me not advocating that they be treated in a way that is congratulative of what they've done, because what they did was really disgusting. You go around and you proclaim that you're better than someone or argue against someone's existence based on things that are out of their control. No one gets to pick what race they are, yet we're still condemning people over it. It's just that kind of thing that bothers me. And I heard a couple of people today saying they hoped all 10 victims were members of the Traditionalist Workers Party, which, I'm not going to share that view. I really wish we had no victims, honestly, because I don't like the idea of not being able to talk things out and communicate, but rather resort to violence, which is the case here. It's kind of funny. Um, there is a recurring sort of theme where, real men get things done. They handle things accordingly. I know I've been using that word over the course of this video a couple of times, but the point is, this is an example of where teaching that same idea that we have to respond with violence when we get angry is just it's preposterous. And this is an example of why it doesn't work, because you have cases where it's bad either way, but it goes from bad to worse very quickly. Who's to say that while this thing was going on, someone didn't pull out a firearm and just start lighting the whole place up? Then we would have had Orlando all over again. That was 2 weeks ago today, 14 days ago, and we're still seeing this continued just violence. And it's been as though it's almost on a daily basis now. It's all I report anymore. Violence, violence, violence. And I do it to prove that we're in a society that is very destructive. And sooner or later, we're just going to have to figure out some way of counteracting it. Now, whether or not that's actually carried out will be another thing, but the racism part isn't going away. But what we can do is try to condemn places that would allow this to happen. They had a permit to protest there, believe it or not. And we have to sign something into law which stops them from being able to do that. And I know they'll say, "Oh, it's freedom of speech. Oh, you're trying to censor me." But the whole thing is, it's so obviously racist. Well, I think what the best way to handle this would have some kind of poll, and you would say this group is a white supremacist. Should they be allowed to protest? against minorities, you'll find a large portion will say no. And if that's the case, then just ban them from being able to speak in public places. What is the point of having these groups that are talking amongst people that don't like them, which was the case here? We had the counter protesters come and say, "Hey, we're gonna shut this down," and they just still have no basis, no foundation. They have no support group outside of themselves. So I don't see who benefits from this. They're preaching a message that the only people who are really going to take that and actually change their mind and come to their ideology are the ones who have been hearing it this whole time. The ones that have felt that way this entire time, and they're usually 9 times out of 10 already members of the group. So I don't see what their continued relevance does for anyone. And I really hope Governor Brown, although I doubt it, signs something in the law to prevent these types of demonstrations. But anyhow, thank you for watching and have a good day.